and justice for all are the last four words of the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States of America. On this cover, it appears sarcastic when juxtaposed with the crumbling Lady Justice beside it. Lady Justice. It is an iconic image that goes back to Greek mythology, with the muse of tragedy, and should be noted that the Statue of Liberty has a similar motif. Lady Justice has ropes all around her, as if she is being torn down, and she is cracked all over. The whole album cover itself is the same white color as the statue, and also contains cracks all over. The name, Metallica, is written in stone. It all comes together well. The three symbols of Lady Justice should be noted as well. First, the scales are supposed to show how justice is balanced. However, here the scales are overflowing with cash. The symbolism here is fairly obvious. The rich elite are tipping the scales in their favor. There is only the illusion of balance. In reality, it's all a bunch of corruption and bureaucracy, rather than real justice. I know we live in an age dripping with so much irony that imagery like this is met with the mocking statement of, "We live in a society," but nevertheless, it hits the point home simply and perfectly. Second, the sword is supposed to represent the swift carrying out of justice. As you can see, the sword too is cracked. Attempts at justice are ineffective. Third, the blindfold has a double meaning. The positive meaning is that justice is meant to be impartial, thus blind. The negative meaning is that she is blind to injustice. This cover perfectly conveys what this album is all about. The sound of And Justice for All is a mix of thrash metal, prog metal, and it could be argued groove metal as well. Blackened is the album's opener. It's this album's battery. It is one of the more thrashy tracks to get you hyped. The bass is quite subdued on this album, and I know this record gets trashed because of this. However, the silver lining is that the other three instruments shine because of this. The guitar is crisp and vibrant. The vocals are hard-edged and echoey. And the drums, for all the hate that Lars gets, are probably some of his best. Blackened is lyrically about the world ending. Which is the least thematically relevant song, given the tracks to come, but I think along with the album cover, it sets the tone for the rest of the songs to come rather well. The title track is where things really get started. The album could begin here and still be easily a 10 out of 10. There is good contrast between the melodious, clean sections and pounding percussion parts interrupting them. Loads of tempo shifting as well. It goes from slow to fast and back to slow again. This is also one of the longer tracks, at over 9 minutes long, but it manages to make the same passages fresh with the speed changes. Lyrically, it's the most transparent. It describes corruption and injustice, and refers to a personified Lady Justice being violated.
Justice is lost, justice is raped, justice is gone, pulling your strings, justice is done.
Also, much like the blindfold, they reference red tape sealing one's lips.
Roll the red tape, seal your lips, now you're done in.
Referring to the arbitrary barriers authorities put in the way, preventing justice and restricting freedom. This is a consistent theme throughout the record. Eye of the Beholder. This track begins with a fade-in. There are some volume dynamics on this album, lots of transitions between quiet and loud moments.
Behind you, hands are tied.
This track is the most lyric focused, as the instrumentation takes a back seat to the vocals for the most part.
Do you see what I see? Truth is an offense. Use silence for your confidence.
To me, this is probably the most powerful lyrically, being a damning commentary about how we are told we are free, but this so-called freedom has so many conditions and caveats that it's effectively meaningless. The sarcasm of the chorus sums it all up.
Doesn't matter what you see, or in doing what you read. You can do it your own way, if it's done just how I say. Freedom of choice is made for you, my friend. Freedom of speech is words that they will bend.
One is the ballad track of the album. Well, sort of. It's not a full-on ballad, like Nothing Else Matters, but it's more like a half-ballad, half-instrumental, like Fade to Black. The guitar shines here, showing the full range of the soothing soft parts early in the track, to the full-on thrashing and soloing towards the end. This is the only track with normal type singing on it, and it is a nice mellow break from the heavier tracks.
I can't remember anything. Can't tell if this is true or dream.
Lyrically though, it's one of the more intense. It's about a soldier who was seriously injured by a landmine, and as a result, lost his arms and legs. He also became deaf, blind, and dumb as well. The soldier just wants to die, but is being kept alive by a life support machine in a hospital bed. He is in a limbo state where he is, materially speaking, alive, but he cannot actually live in any meaningful sense.
If we come across somebody with no arms or legs, do we bother resuscitating them? I mean, what kind of quality of life do we have there?
Nor can he even speak his will to die. He is trapped in a living hell under the guise of people helping him. Not only does this present an ethical dilemma in a pretty extreme way, but it also hits on a theme present in most of Metallica's music, that things are often best left alone, and often interference, even with the pretense of good intentions, can lead to awful results. The Shortest Straw. This is one of my favorites. It has a stark groove sound to it. The guitar and drums have a fantastic oomph to them. When it speeds up, it has a frantic, panicked vibe to it, which I think fits the theme of the song well. This song is a critique of mob rule, also known as democracy. When everyone pulls a straw, someone inevitably gets the shortest one, the raw end of the deal. Throughout history, we have seen that the odd one out gets branded as a heretic. The track even mentions witch hunts, which is a good example of this.
Witch hunt, modern day, determining decay, the blatant disarray, disfigure.
The more mundane contemporary example would be something like cancel culture, where the mob attacks a particular individual for whatever reason they may have, be it reasonable or completely ridiculous. This track captures the feeling of when you are the one caught in the crosshairs of the mob. Harvester of Sorrow. This is another groovy track, but rather than the panicked pace, this one feels more somber and melancholic in its tone. This is a more drum-focused track. Even the vocals and guitars feel very sharp and percussive as well. This song is about addiction. It is yet another example of a Metallica song about being controlled by something or someone that is intending to help them.
Drink up, shoot in, let the beatings begin. Distributor of pain, your loss becomes my gain.
Frayed Ends of Sanity. This is the best track, in my opinion. It starts with this strange chanting part, accompanied by rhythmic instrumentation. I know some people find this part silly, but I don't see much wrong with it. Plus, the transition into the actual song is pretty cool. This song is about paranoia, feeling like everyone is out to get you, including yourself. It has a catchy chorus, a good solo, and is overall a cool song.
Growing conspiracy, everyone's after me. Radiant of sanity, hear them calling.
To Live Is to Die. This is the instrumental track of the album. It shows off the most prominent prog elements of them all, and even features some of the few moments of audible bass, even though it sounds more like another instrument. This song is dedicated to Metallica's former bassist, Cliff Burton, who died prior to recording. The abrupt transition at the beginning represents how sudden a death can interrupt and drastically change the lives of others. And the transition back shows that despite this, life goes on. Dyer's Eve. This is the closing track, and it is a banger. This song is far more thrash than the rest of the album, ending the album with as much energy as Blackened, if not more. It is also the shortest track, and ends somewhat abruptly, fitting with the disheveled tone that exists throughout the duration of the record. It's the most personal track lyrically, being a shout-out to the parents that shelter their children so much that they can't handle the real world.
Dear father, it is in your world you made for me. I'm seething, I'm bleeding, ripping wounds in me that never end.
There is serious venom and animosity here in the vocals and lyrics, as well as raw power in the chords, as well as the instrumentation in general. To sum up, And Justice for All is an ire-filled, thought-provoking, cathartic masterpiece, as well as a groovy, proggy, thrashy treat for the ears. The very definition of a solid metal record. I know Metallica is one of the most popular metal bands out there, so I'm not exactly revealing a hidden gem here, but I think this is more of a gem that is hidden in plain sight. I think And Justice for All is often overlooked among Metallica's discography, and I think the sheer depth of their lyrics is downplayed just because they are a popular band, and therefore trendy to hate on or dismiss entirely. But anyways, I just wanted to share what I think is one of the best metal records ever. Join me next time, where we will once again explore what's in a masterpiece.